Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. Well, here we are, guys. What is it? July 28th, another month just about gone. And yeah, we're going to be fighting this little bit of tyranny for a while, guys. So they're still doing whatever they want to do. We're working that out. You know, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to understand. And the problem is that we got out there in the community that we were just having a bit of a chat about, guys, is geez, there's a lot of sick people out there, isn't there? These guys have really done a good job, you know, and it's up to you to actually, you know, look after yourself and take it seriously, guys, about looking after yourself in this environment that these guys have got us living in, you know. So, yeah, better take care. Now, anyway, let's get on to a few things. So, Clover Moore up in Sydney up there. I think she's in, Sydney Lord Mayor anyway. Yeah, I think she covers this. But yeah, North Sydney thinking about selling tickets to the fireworks, guys. That's going to upset the locals, I can assure you. All right, people being held to Canterbury. So, you know, we do have some politicians in there. I'm not going to name any of them, but, you know, yeah, they're in there trying to kick up a bit of a stink, which is good, you know, because the average Joe Blowy out there, the average punter, is actually watching Hanson and that, you know what I mean? And these people kicking them up about some stuff. So I don't know what's come on there. Hang on, guys. All right, sorry. Disability. Future of 1,400, sorry, workers with disability endowed as support service and as administration. So again, Bedford Industries guys, you know, they're even attacking, you know, where these disabled people go and work. They're just bringing it all down, and they're doing it quite quickly. You know that, you know what their targets are and where they want to get to. So, you know, by 2030, it's you will own nothing and be happy. You know, yeah, I wouldn't believe anything you see about the starvation in Gaza. I'm not going to say any more about that. But, you know, we got Barnaby Joyce again. He wants to abandon net zero. Now, as I said again, you know, I think Wade's got an interview coming up with him. But these are the guys that we need out there, all right, because the normal punter all right, these guys will be bringing up things that the normal punter can, get across. All right. So it is good that these guys are standing up. Doesn't matter what I think of them. Okay. The thing is that they are actually, bringing it to the attention, all right, of the people out there, because this is what's happening, guys. Jewish school children verbally abused on excursion in Melbourne. Again, when we look into this, you'll probably find that this is another setup. You know what I mean? They just got to keep the narrative rolling. And whilst they're doing that, again, this is over in WA, guys. All right, but they've got an advocacy group is calling on the government to urgently overhaul the rules protecting long-term residents in caravan parks and lifestyle villages as elderly tenants, some in their 80s, right, face the devastating prospect of losing their homes with little notice and no compensation. So, two regional tourist parks near Albany and Geraldton in Western Australia. But, yeah, they're just going to turf them, guys, given 120 days to leave. The assault's on. The assault on mankind is on. All right. I think we're back into StreamYard now. There you go. We're here. Come in, Caz, whenever you're right, darling. How are you?
Crazy. Yeah, good. Look,
we got all this rain and that coming. Is that right? You're inland, but I mean, we're supposedly got a mainstream media says an absolute deluge coming. Cold weather and getting it flooded.
Well, strangely enough, it rained all the way from. We pulled up at a truck stop inland the other day. Might have been Narrabri or Goondiwindi, I'm not sure, but anyway, and they were talking there, and one of the truckers had told the lady behind the counter that it's raining all the way from Darwin to Melbourne. So interesting.
There you go.
All right, let's have a look.
We've got our own weather reports, one from each town each night, so we actually know what's going on in the country, not the bullshit they're trying to tell us.
Look, we've got heaps of stuff going on. Look, when are we going to start discussing this pedophile problem that we've got in Parliament? Mate,
this guy here, he as I said, guy, this guy took our Jessica's Law, guys, and hit it. He was one that took it and just, put it away, guys. Yeah, just they're arseholes, man. Arseholes. But yeah, look, they're going down, aren't they? There's more and more of it coming, and this is what I'm saying, Caz, about. The more this is all getting into the mainstream, the better this is doing us. These are our enemies, you know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, these people that have been in political power for a while, but they're doing us a favor at the moment because the normie out there, the normal person is taking notice, because they always have, of what these people in the media spotlight are saying. And they're bringing up some good topics for us.
That's exactly right. Like, it's all working for us. There's a lot of stuff that's working for us at the moment. We've got a clip in here of people in Israel waking up. I've seen clips of Muslim people waking up. So everything seems to be working for us at the moment. Everything's going our way. So we are getting there. Look,
and hence is why, as I said in the show, guys, they're coming at you full assault now. Full assault. There's some good stuff on my timeline, Dave Graham. Actually, guys, just some not bad articles on some chemtrail pilots and different things. And mate, I tell you, it's they're getting caught out. They are getting caught out.
They are indeed. Look, it's not stopping them. They're upping the ante on everything, and of course they've got the AI now working for them.
And fines. Welcome to Big Brother. Local councils have themselves a full AI suite, which is in keeping with the Digital Twin Cities program. And sadly, people will find out the hard way, much like I did. I have just received 2 AI fines in the post. My first offence was stopping in a back street for moments in front of something called a no stopping sign. This is a special stretch of road where there are no circumstances at all, 24 hours a day, which allow you to stop at this particular sign. As happens with many of these rules, I had never heard of such a thing before, but that little stunt cost me $198 for a few moments of stopping my car. The second infringement notice was for dropping my son at basketball in a factory back street in the northeastern suburbs of Melbourne. I stopped, he got out of the car, and he went to basketball, and that was close to 7 p.m. at night. Once again, an AI camera captured it, and those few moments, the 5 seconds it took my son to get out of the car with his basketball, cost me $119. I'm not here to argue whether these infringe.
Oh, it's just unbelievable.
Like, yeah, this is the only look, guys. You know, we've got to, you know, AI's there. They're using it against us, yeah, but we got to get a little bit smarter, all right? And we got to use it to our advantage. And this is why I don't mind, you know, the people putting their AI songs on and different things like that with bits of AI, because we have to embrace it too, guys. Otherwise, they're going to have it, you know, and it's a lopsided thing. So at the moment, we're in a war, and we just got to keep up with what's going on. And if that means the utilisation, which, you know, I'll admit, I use it for research because it can do it a lot quicker than I can do it. You know what I mean? Much quicker.
I think the point of that, though, is that the more corrupt the state, the more numerous the laws. And that's what Tacitus said 2,000 years ago. And so, like, they'll just use the toys that are available to them. It's the problem is the government. The problem is the state, the tyranny. Look, we got this.
I just saw Gareth Ward there, guys. He was actually the Minister for Families, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Family and Community Services. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The positions they get them. Yeah. Well, I don't know about sack him. I think there's some sort of structure now, but he goes back this week anyway for sentence. So, you know, let's just see what happens there. You know what I mean? He's supposed to be looking at 14 years, you know. And for anyone, for anyone in his capacity, right, of a public figure that does that sort of shit, you deserve the top-notch dealing, which is 14 years, son. That's my opinion. Go, Caz.
Yeah, no, well, we've got heaps of stuff like you got this report from up at Townsville, so.
Yeah.
There's a big shopping centre just over there, and there's a big shopping centre here and parked up against Bunnings. And interestingly, so they've got a trucker's lounge, but it seems to sort of be for everyone, showers and toilets, obviously the food and stuff like that. This is sort of a little bit overflow for campers. But I'll show you around the village, if you like. It's extreme. I can't sort of believe just how crazy it is. I think in America this sort of happens a little bit more. And I'll start over here. So you've got campers and stuff sort of all down this little entry into the camping area. Lots of rooftop tents and stuff going on here. And this is the back section here, but I'll show you from the front because it's crazy, and then you'll see my setup and how it is. So they literally go nose to tail, and I woke up this morning just boxed in, which is fine, I'm not rushing off. So I'm going to go a little bit quiet. This is the best truck. I was having a chat with this trucker yesterday. Cracking truck.
Wow.
So this is one section. And then we come over to where I am.
And this is one town.
I hope it's light enough that everyone can see, so the sun's coming up.
Yeah, I think the village comment was sarcasm. Rito, look at it. You know, it is a village. Look at it. It's a village of, yeah. Wow.
That's me, just there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's happening everywhere. And that's, yeah. And as I say, yeah, that's one town, guys. And as you say, you know, you get the feedback in here. Yeah, it is. I'm getting feedback. It's everywhere.
It is, and it's gone up 20% apparently.
And one thing you won't see there, Caz. I'll tell you one thing you won't see there. An
What's
immigrant,
that?
unless they actually own the garage or the Bunnings or whatever else. But you won't see an immigrant there because they're okay. And
Well, this guy moved from China to Australia in his 20s, unable to speak English, and started working as a reception. He now owns multiple properties and never has to worry about money again. So it's just, it's completely outrageous. And the good thing about it is that there's so many young people are realizing. And also what they've tried to do is they've tried to lump us in with a whole heap of other people's, the immigrants. But no, it's not. Okay, there are certain elements that the children of the future hate that are not us. Okay, go and have a look. Go and check out the Cooker Watchers. They're the ones who hate the future. All right. So, but here's the.
Caz, what about the $1 million grant? We haven't checked it all out yet, guys, but we've been told. All right, I'm pretty good. It looks pretty good information. All right, I had a quick glance at that, but if you're an immigrant, these immigrants can get $1 million grants, guys, not loans. Right, grants.
Yeah, grants.
And they're giving out how many of them, Mel? 4.3 million grants at $1 million.
Yeah, but I've also been told that they're running the same sort of scam through the NGOs as well. So it's not just 4.3. That's just one. That's the government outlet one. But anyone who's good at Freedom of Information Act, can they please start looking into this, because we need to find out the deals on it, because everywhere I've gone, it's owned by an Indian, and the statistical probability of that happening is
we rented a car the other week. It was Indians in the car, that 6T or whatever it is. Yeah, that was just all, and they've got everything, guys. All right, it is unbelievable. They are on and why can't they? If the government's going to give you $1 million, man, I mean, hello.
But the good thing about it is, look, you've got this Ben Fordham speaking out about half the foreign drivers are failing their driving tests, and we're told it's because they can't even read English. And you've also got all these young people that are speaking out about it.
Just broke a world record, but not the good kind. We now hold the global title in collapse in household income out of all the developed nations. Since 2022, real household income in Australia has dropped by 8%. That is the biggest fall in history, not just our history, but the entire developed world.
And here it is here. If you have a look at it, it is really bad. That's bad, guys. That's basically recession material, but they're just not admitting it, and they're using the migrants to cover it up. And you've also got this horrible situation with the energy as well. So you've got families in electricity hardship. So in 2022, there was 75,000. Now there's 131,000. That's not people, guys. That's families. That's families in a house.
Wow. They're really getting their new world order across, aren't they?
Well,
and be careful on the roads, guys, too. All right, with these immigrant truck drivers and that, because they, we have heard a couple of rumors about them maybe giving false overtaking signals and stuff like that. So just be aware, right? We know there's a lot more accidents on the road than the mainstream media are telling you about or letting you know about. All right, and it's a war, guys. All right, these people have been brought in, and some of them have got very nefarious reasons to be here. All right, and that is that you are their target.
Yeah. Look, we've got the, the situation that we've got, like with this net zero is just unbelievable. Like, you've got this situation here where this is a local community has been hit by a blackout. They're surrounded by wind farms. So they're surrounded by wind farms, and they're in blackout. And Barnaby's gone on the assault with regards to that.
Barnaby Joyce seems to think so, today launching his official bid to take down the government's climate policy. He was joined by several Nationals colleagues this morning selling his new anti-net zero bill. But there was a notable absence at his media conference. Nationals leader David Littleproud.
This is not about leadership. This is not about trying to create some sort of discordant note.
The Coalition's review of net zero is not yet complete.
No, because look at these statistics on this one.
Government's renewable energy target, Australia has to build more than one wind turbine larger than this every single day for the next 6 years. They will march across the landscape from sea to shining sea in their thousands, transforming it forever and making it look like this. Stephen has used his training as a cartographer to map the number of wind and solar farms that will need to be built on the national electricity market to hit the government targets, stretching from far north Queensland through New South Wales, Victoria, west to Port Lincoln in South Australia, and across the Bass Strait to Tasmania.
The Australian public have got no idea. I've got to laugh. They've got no idea what's in store.
Unbelievable.
It is. It's complete and utter insanity. You know,
but again, the topic's out there, Caz, and people will be waking up. So
they are. That's true. That's absolutely true. But the good thing about it is that our people are getting more aggressive and more vocal, and on top of that, now what's happened is the mainstream media, like Sky News and places like that, they have actually started. They're actually pretty much. I've got one thing here where they're actually pretty much quoting us, Dave. But but like you've got this. Like, look at what we've got in Parliament. What a joke.
It for the first time this week. I didn't see leaders, I just seen paid actors. Their first week in Parliament was TikToks and virtue signalling. A few politicians still have a backbone, but most, spineless cowards. More loyal to the lobbyists than the people they're meant to serve. Because if they weren't spineless cowards, this is what they would be fighting for. Tax the mining giants. Let's start with 20%. They extracted around $460 billion worth last year alone. Then tax the foreign buyers when they ship our resources offshore. Another 20% will do. And appropriately tax the green energy sector, right? All their profits, all their subsidies, and all their carbon credits. That alone would net us about $170 billion a year. Meanwhile, Aussies paid $313 billion in income tax last year alone. So here's what I've drawn up. I've reworked the personal income taxation system for us. The first $40,000 you earn, that's tax-free. Anything after that, it's a flat 20% tax rate. No brackets, no loopholes, no BS. Household power bills, well, I've got that fully covered. Paid for by the extraction and the foreign sale of our natural resources. But what do we get instead? We get inflation, we get debt, and we get a cost of living crisis with zero accountability. And inflation, that's government-fueled theft. They overspend, they print, they borrow, and they flog off government bonds like they're raffle tickets. So here's a new rule. If the government needs to print or borrow to stay afloat, every politician will forfeit their pay for the year. Let's see how fast they cut the waste when their incomes depend on it. And here's what real common sense reform looks like. Fair tax on mining, foreign buyers, and the green energy sector. If our natural resources are good enough for China and India, then they're also good enough for Australia. Cut personal income tax and scrap all household energy bills, like I previously stated. Slash immigration to $50,000 a year. Scrap every DEI policy and woke bail laws. Do a complete order of the government and scrap wasteful spending, and then reinvest that into defence and our frontline organisations. Then watch the recruiting crisis fix itself overnight. Keep schools free of adult agendas. End lobbyist access. And that is just to name a few. The budget would balance itself out once we cut the waste. Inflation would correct itself within a matter of months. Now, let's say I launch this common sense reform movement tomorrow. Imagine the traction it might gain. Finally, a movement we can go to Parliament with to force change. Labor, they might panic. Liberals, well, they'd probably scramble to copy it. Because fixing this country isn't hard. It just doesn't serve the ones in charge and their lobbyists. And if I actually did this tomorrow, you and I know already what would happen. The smear campaigns would start, the fake scandals would come out of nowhere, the hit anonymous pieces would never end, and they would probably try to label me a war criminal from my time in Afghanistan in 2012. Because they don't want to debate the ideas. They'll try to bury the person for asking questions. And honestly, I'm half tempted to do it, as a bit of a social experiment, just to see how fast the machine panics and turns on me. Because if this is considered dangerous, then the system is already broken. What's your thoughts?
I'd vote for him. I would vote for him.
Yeah. And, you know, anyone there around the Central Coast, there's a good idea, you know, doing it tough.
Yeah. Look, but as I said, like, you've got Sky News, and here you've got they're starting to sound like us, Dave.
She's not doing that. That's really damaging. When she says she's protecting children, she's lying.
She wants digital ID. That's what she wants. Because how do you police the children?
But
you
it's
police
also,
the adults.
you know, this is at a time where people are advocating for 16-year-olds to get the vote.
Yeah,
How can you say they're old enough to vote and make decisions about the future of the country, but they're not old enough to have Instagram?
Here's your Facebook
I mean,
license.
you know, these people are so stupid, they don't even realise it, and it's just breathtaking, the idiocy. I am so fed up with Julian Grant. I'm happy to buy her a one-way ticket
Isn't
back
she
to
American
the US.
anyway?
Yeah, she can head back to the US. I'm thrilled that Google's threatening to sue, and I hope that the coalition stands up and opposes this and actually says this is absolute censorship and ridiculous. How do you say someone's 16 or someone's 21 or 50? And Kel, I want to know about this opting in and out of porn, because I've never got any, so I don't know how I'm not in this. But clearly I clicked the wrong button somewhere. I am. I'm so naive. Pure. I've never got any.
Well, and it's not just that, actually. Now TikTok is, so you've got Google threatening to sue, and now you've got TikTok is threatening to sue as well. But in the meantime, our people, this is Rad, she's just been suspended. So shout out to Rad, and yeah, let's start a free Rad. She writes really good content, so yeah.
Yeah, and look, YouTube is the safest thing out there, guys. They've got no figures to do this, you know what I mean? When you look at the statistics, YouTube is very, very educational, safe, and a great learning tool. And, yeah, it is not a problem at all.
No, of course it's not. Michael Offendale, we've had him on the show before, but he's put out this. 2BA is getting sick of it.
Well, would you look at this? The Goondiwindi Council's pushed up a fire break for the Bigamble's cultural burn they've been threatening us with for some time now. Insanity. Well, we consider any incursion by the Bigamble Corporation into our community, especially acts of theatrical dominance like so-called cultural burns, to be a hostile act. In the frontier days, small towns had no choice but to defend themselves. The Eureka Stockade, the Lemming Flat riots, even the towns of Charleville and Bar Cauldron. When governments failed, the people drew the line. And that's what's happening here. We didn't invite this war, but it's been brought to our door. The firebreak carved around our kindergarten isn't a safety measure. It's a trench, a silent admission that our council no longer serves us, that it serves a corporation invented in Brisbane pretending to be our town. Let me say this clearly. 2B will not be colonised. We will not kneel to fake ceremonies, fake connections, or fake history. Premier Christofouli, this is your moment to lead. You can end this now with honour on terms that respects our community, but if you won't know this, we will meet fire with fire, and no one will ever say we surrendered. Free 2B, free Australia.
People are just
He's
getting
going
so
well,
jacked.
that guy. Yep, he's having a go. Hang on, I got a bike.
Yeah, that's right. Look, you've got people standing up everywhere, and whilst they should, you know, Abby Chatfield, I won't play it on here because if we play that, what she says, we will get banned. Okay? But here she is, and she's basically called for the murder and inciting followers to just do it. You know, just basically kill Trump, basically. So, you know, and these are the same people that go on about us being violent. We're not violent. Okay? We are trying to fix this peacefully. But, you know, people like her, like, seriously? Oh, she just, like, how do you actually even argue and debate with people like that? Because they're just, I don't even know what to say about them, actually. They're just basically...
Yep. What do? You know, they're just paid actors, mate. They're paid agents. Yeah.
That's it. Look, we got heaps on this weekend. Let's have a look at what is going on with our flyers.
And the Mondays at Maggie's crew is calling for tools down. It's time to stand together. A corrupt and tyrannical government is crushing industries, stripping freedoms and silencing voices. This affects every worker and every business. New South Wales under a corrupt government. Enough is enough. We won't stay silent and we demand action. So join us every Monday at the Governor's House in Sydney at 11 a.m. And on Mondays, don't forget Mondays at Maggie's, the Frank and Charles podcast. They will be hitting the streets this week. Mondays at Maggie's. And Dissection has more news and awards and finalists in the following festivals. Documentaries Without Borders Film Festival on September the 14th. It is official selection. Impact Docs Awards, California, USA official selection for Best Documentary finalist, which will be on August the 12th, 2025. And the White Rose International Film Festival in Yorkshire, UK. Official selection for Best Documentary finalist, Best Cinematography runner-up. That date is on August 9th, 2025. And on Saturday, August 23rd at 12 p.m. at the Hyde Park Fountain, there will be a march against chemtrails. And in Victoria, we have the following events. In Melbourne, gather at the Governor's every Saturday to end the tyranny. 10 a.m. every Saturday at the Governor Gates. PMAV have announced that it is a time to rally. It will be on next Wednesday the 30th. It is a rally against the many taxes coming to Victoria, including a 234% increase in mining tax, 189% ESB tax, as well as forcible entry into private property or face a $12,000 fine. The rally will be on Wednesday the 30th of July. Steps of Parliament, Melbourne. The speakers from 11 a.m. And join the Justice of the People in Melbourne every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. for a remembrance at the Shrine of Remembrance, lest we forget. And Craig Cole of the Leave Our Kids Alone is holding a stand up for our children against sexual abuse in daycare centres, sexual abuse in state care facilities and child trafficking networks that operate within the system. This will be on Saturday, August 2nd at 12 p.m. at the Flagstaff Gardens in Melbourne. And the Vax Bus has announced their Australian tour for 2025. The dates are 3rd of August, Coffs Harbour, 4th of August, Port Macquarie, 5th of August, Newcastle, 6th of August, Gosford, 7th of August, Narrabeen, 8th of August, Penrith, and 9th of August, Katoomba. And the Freedom Unites Coast and Country Parades will now be held on September the 6th and 7th, which is a Saturday and Sunday. Jodie's inviting everyone to register their interest now. A daily prayer space is held on X at 3 p.m. So whatever you're facing, come along and we can lift you up in prayer. Every day, 3 p.m. on X. Melissa 146233923.
All right. You still there, Dave? Okay, we've lost Dave.
Still frozen. What's going on? We're back. We're back.
I was frozen. I thought you were frozen.
Yeah. I don't know. We all dropped then, but anyway, we're still here. So yeah.
That's all right. Now these guys had a rally at the Flagstaff on the weekend, and I think it might have been V that actually covered this, or maybe it was Elizabeth Stewart. I haven't given you credit, but anyway, thank you for the video.
Okay, we're in Melbourne, Fitzroy Gardens. We've got a rally happening today, which Nick Patterson right in front of me has organised for today for a very important reason. So I'm going to get him to tell you what this is about, and then I will go off and I will come back on live probably in about half an hour's time. Okay? Go to you, Nick. Tell us all about why this is happening today and why you've organised this.
Yeah, well, it's the broader issue of just our culture and our Christian values, not just in Australia but all around the world, being attacked. A lot of people don't realise that 52 countries right now persecute Christians, and the whole Christian ethos is under attack through Marxism, cultural Marxism. They want to get rid of our flag, which is literally 3 crosses. It's a symbol of Christianity, and the reason that the West has
look, we'll just leave it there because we've got heaps of other things and we're running out of time. But that's available on the website, that full interview. And I think it was V that did that one, so thank you for that. And as I said, there's a lot of people that are speaking up about stuff. One of them is this official-based blonde as well, and she's talking about the Anzacs.
Completely agree with this statement. Our Anzacs did not fight for modern-day Australia. And if they could see what it is now, they'd think it's an absolute piss take.
We'll leave that one there as well. But look, it's a good rant. But the fact is that, guys, it's the young people. But it's not just the young people. It's but it's also Israel. Now this is actually Huda Kattan. She is a mega wealthy makeup person, and she's woken up about Israel. She's Israeli.
Are you guys
And
seeing
now
what I'm
Amber
seeing?
Drake.
Are we seeing the same things? All of the conspiracy theories coming out and a lot of evidence behind them that Israel has been behind World War I, World War II, September 11th, October 7th. They allowed all of this stuff to happen. Is this crazy? I saw something, and I saw this many times, that Netanyahu was warned about October 7th so many times, told their army to stand down for 7 hours so that October 7th could happen, so they could use this as an excuse.
We'll leave that one there as well because, as I said, we're just basically...
So there's ours. That's what we're doing, guys. We're locked in down here in Wollongong for the 7th, okay, to start our weekly, tour of our little community, and we're going to be having a barbecue at a location in the afternoon. We'll be visiting other locations to hand out pamphlets and that, and we'll have vehicles and signs and everything with us, guys. So it's about community awareness. All right, get to the Maggies. All right, start getting involved here, guys. All right, because the people obviously are starting to see the topics that we've been screaming about for a long time, and they're seeing them with the politicians and that they know and recognise. They are starting to work it out.
Yeah, and it's also like a case of like a lot of people are waking up in different spheres. It's awesome. It's all working perfectly, actually. Now this is Ari Ben Meshe. He's a Jewish Israeli. He has basically talked about how the intelligence office confirms that Israel has copies of the Epstein blackmail videos. He says that Trump has declared the Epstein blackmail videos a hoax in order to remove Netanyahu's power over America and try and bring peace to Gaza. So you actually have, look, the average Jew in Israel's average normie, the average Muslim in Muslim countries is normie, average people here, average normies. Okay, it's just this specific group. It's these very, very people at the very, very top. So,
yeah.
And the other thing is, Obama's in the front and center at the moment, and his chef is back.
Fox News Alert, we have new information tonight in the drowning death of Obama's personal chef, Tafari Campbell. The Massachusetts State Police responded to our FOIA request and released their report with some redactions. According to the report, Obama was on the scene shortly after Campbell went missing. Report also states an unmanned female staffer jumped into the water when Tafari fell off his board, but it was already too late. He disappeared. We also now know that Secret Service has surveillance footage of Campbell from Obama's compound moments before he entered the water. So we're going to see if we can get that, and we may have that for you. Again, we're very, very sorry for Tafari's family. That was
very interesting. Now, the other thing that the people are waking up is that they're getting this money from Doge is coming back, and they're putting all the dots together, and Americans are getting there first. Imagine what it's going to be like when all these Americans get online and start talking about their Doge refunds and how they don't pay tax.
We need a Doge. Yeah, we need a Doge.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And this lady's basically outlining all of the payments.
The question is not if we're going to get some type of Doge dividend or Trump tariff rebate. That's not the question. The question is what it's going to look like. We are definitely going to get some money back. Now, I don't know what that looks like. I'm not in the 2 a.m. meetings, but I'm going to tell you this. We have been robbed and stolen from and slaves since the inception of the Federal Reserve. We will be getting money back. Now, I don't know what it looks like. It would make sense to me that, let's say, older people or retired people would get a lump sum. And it would also make sense to me that they'd have payments, probably based on age. But we're getting some money back. You think Trump's going to let them just get away with that and be like, yeah, sorry, guys? No. We will definitely be getting money back. I would guess people my age and younger, probably monthly payments. But let's just be super grateful that the Federal Reserve is being exposed for what it is. And let's be grateful that...
And it was being exposed as well. Like, you've got the whole situation with Trump and Powell. And then you have him in London today, not London, it's the UK today, and he was going off about he wasn't going off, he'd basically brought in the tariffs. And where was that? Ursula, there she is.
I will say this, they did ask me when I got off the plane, immigration, Europe has a tremendous problem, and we do too, but we've sealed our borders. We have nobody coming in, and we have hundreds of thousands of people being taken out, and the bad ones first, and I think we're doing a very good job of that. But it literally registered 0 people last month. You probably saw that, nobody. And Europe has a very similar problem.
So yeah, you've got that. And then the final bit, of course, is the Ivanka. I think Ivanka might be being positioned to be the next president, actually. Because she's been putting out comms. She's not as good as Trump, but somebody's obviously helped her out with this one. So she's posted this today, and like Cloyd Bull did a breakdown of it. He says basically her dress is called Ocean of Secrets. Joanna Aretz is the designer who knows. Ivanka in this picture is standing on a chessboard. That means military codes. Her back is against the wall. This is secret for deep state, back against the wall. Now, no way out. Names on Epstein list and checkmate. So, yeah, and that's there. Let's just have a look at that again because it's actually very well crafted.
We're going to be in a checkmate hold position for a little while, I think, guys.
Well,
they don't care about being in checkmate. They just don't care. They don't play by the rules. So checkmate means nothing to them.
That's it. But anyway, all right. So Dave, we're actually being taken out. We're being taken out. Sons of Legion and I Am a Fire. So if you can,
there you go.
Wind up and close.
Well, the world's on fire at the moment, guys. If you're watching, what is it? Yellowstone National Park. We still got animals coming out of there. We got things breaking up in the ground. We got noises coming out of the ground. We got floods in the desert. We got everything's happening. And you know what it's happening perfectly in line with? It's funny, isn't it? But the old biblical text. Okay, so again, we got a lot of stuff playing out. They might have fudged what's going on and tried to deviate us, but I'm telling you, this stuff's all coming together, and you know what it is, guys. It's as Caz has said, it's a race to the finish line from here. Okay, and we got to be in it. But the good thing is that people are starting to wake up. I got a couple of mates out there that are a bit persistent and continue to. But I offer them on the show to come and debate it. You know what I mean? And they don't want to know about that, but they like to throw their little comments in. But anyway. One day, guys, you guys that I'm talking about there, you'll wake up, okay? And then you might just go, don't worry about me, but go and thank the other people in your neighborhood that were preaching the same shit as what I am and Caz is, all right? And all you guys are. That we are in trouble. This is a satanic takeover, and it's a spiritual war. So get ready for the week, guys. God bless you.
Ever since my eyes met the world, I was breaking through the chains like a match to a flame. I was born against the grain. Oh, oh. They say I'm broken in the brain, got a shot of kerosene in my veins. Hey, hey, hey. They better be concerned now, 'cause it's my turn, and I'm only getting hotter. Take a step back or you might get burned, 'cause I'm a fire starter.